One quiet nights Victor the crocodile and Espio the chameleon were out for a dinner date with Vanilla the rabbit and Katerina the cat. They were going to a Japanese restaurant, went then to the movies to see the new Addams Family movie. About 2 days ago, they had asked their friend Shadow the Hedgehog to watch Charmy Bee, Bookend the robot, Cream the rabbit, and Cheese the Chow while they were out. Even though he was reluctant to babysit the kids, since babysitting was not his specialty, Shadow agreed to do the job. Vanilla, Victor's wife, gave the ultimate life form some advice on babysitting before they made their way out. As soon as Victor and Espo left with their lovers, Shadow went to the library to search for a perfect bedtime story to read to the youngsters. He then found several books, but none of them seemed to be appropriate for kids. These stories that he found were either way too scary or too adult-like nature. However, he managed to find one book containing several fairy tales, such as Little Red Riding Hedgehog, The Three Babylon Rouges, and the particular story Shadow Black. This would be perfect, Shadow said as he placed his dark red bookmark between the pages where the story is before leaving the library. In Cream's room, everybody was all throwing pillows at each other, and they were having the time of their lives. Bookend announced, "When's the cats away, the mice will play. Here's to not sleeping," Charmy declared as he threw his pillow at his best friend. During the pillow fight, Shadow walked in with the book and he explained, "All right, you nasties, it's bedtime." Everyone groaned in disappointment. "Oh, come on, can we just stay up for 5 more minutes?" Bookend begged. I have a story to tell you," Shadow said. "If you all get into your beds, then you'll be in for a treat." Charmy, Bookend, and Cream all looked at each other and did what the ultimate life form was told them. Cream got into her bed while the boys got into the sleeping bags. As they did so, Shadow pulled up a chair from Cream's vanity and sat right down. Cream asked, "What kind of story are you going to tell us tonight, Shadow?" "I'm glad you asked," Shadow answered. "It's a fairy tale like none other. I call it Shadow Black." He opened the book and cleared his throat, and then he began to read the story. Once upon a time, there was a handsome prince named Shadow Black. He narrated, he was the prince for the ultimate kingdom, which was ruled by a stepfather, King Eggman. Prince Shadow Black resembled Shadow the Hedgehog, who took a walk in the woods. Shadow began to explain Shadow Black's situation. Every morning, Shadow Black would take a walk in the woods, not only to get some fresh air, but also to get away from King Eggman when he was in his bad mood. During his walk, the prince saw the baby bird had just fell on the ground. He rushed towards it and helped the baby get back up to its parents. He was helpful, courageous, kind-hearted, and handsome, Shadow explained. In fact, he was so handsome that everyone who met him he believed was the most handsome of them all. In the castle, King Eggman turned to his royal minion, Metal Sonic, and asked him a question. Metal Sonic from the wall, who is the most handsome of them all?" "It appeared that Shadow Black is the most handsome of them all, Your Highness," Metal Sonic responded, not thinking much of the answer. The king laughed in his minion's response. "That's a good one, Metal Sonic." "It's not a joke, King Eggman," Metal Sonic said. "I mean, Shadow Black is truly the most handsome of them all." King Eggman stopped laughing and then turned to look at the robot. Are you serious?" The robot nodded. Realizing that Metal Sonic was being honest, the king went into a fit of rage. "I was supposed to be the most handsome of all the land." He began to think of a plan to try to get rid of his stepson once and for all. He puzzled until he got an idea. He called for his daughter, Princess Omelette, to his room. The princess entered the room and said, "Do you need me, Daddy?" King Eggman said, "As a matter of fact, yes I do." He took a box from the dresser and gave it to her. "Omelette, I want you to take Shadow Black deep into the forest the next morning. Once you're sure that you're far enough, you should be able to knock him out and cut his heart out and put it inside this box." "Yes, Daddy," Omelette obeyed. "I won't let you down." "You never let me down, dear," King Eggman said, as then he laughed evilly with the Princess Omelette joining their father. The next morning, Shadow Black was asked by his stepfather to take his stepsister with him for his walk. They walked in the forest until the prince realized that the sky was getting dark by a minute. The weather wasn't so fine since there was bound to be a thunderstorm on that day. The further they went in the woods, the more excited Princess Omelette got. The Shadow Black began to feel uneasy about the weather with his stepsister's behavior. It was at that point that he wanted to go home to the castle to seek shelter before the storm could begin. It's getting pretty late, he suggested. Maybe we should go back to the castle? I don't want to go back home now, Omelette argued. Besides, Daddy told me to take me deep into the woods. Not only wanting to argue with the princess, Shadow Black continued to walk with her, although he did feel pretty unsure about why his stepfather allowed him to take the princess deep into the woods in the first place. Princess Omelette looked up at the trees and notified the prince about wherever he was up at the tallest one. Hey, what's up there? She called, pointing at the tree. Shadow Black asked, what is it? I think I see birds on the tallest tree, Omelette said, as Shadow began to look up a specific tall tree. His stepsister pointed out, however, he saw nothing on leaves except for leaves and branches. Behind his back, Princess Omelette took out a hammer from her basket and secretly packed. I don't see anything, Shadow said. They're up there, Omelette answered. Just keep looking. Her stepbrother turned to only see that she was holding a hammer. In addition, she also had a sinister smile on her face. Omelette, what are you doing? Shadow demanded. Oh, nothing major, his stepsister said. I just want to put you right to sleep, so I can have your heart for Daddy. Shadow Black couldn't believe what the princess said. What? He asked while he was backing away from her. But why? You see, Daddy wants to be the most handsome in the land. Princess Omelette raised her hammer over her head. Now hold still while I make this quick. The prince screamed at the top of his lungs. No! Fearing for his life, his stepfather's motivation, Shadow Black began to run away. His stepsister followed him, all the while swinging the hammer at him. Hold still, she demanded, but she managed to dodge every single twig and even swing from the chaotic princess, in hopes of her lose track of him. He began to run deeper and deeper into the woods. However, she was not ready to give up just yet. She promised Daddy to bring back the prince's heart, so then she would not stop until she did so.